Okay, there we go, that's better. So I just did like 15 minutes of a stream to, I think, not streaming. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually stream now. Hopefully volume's okay. Yeah, so the idea here is just a basic intelligence run, like sort of a setup that you can use for basically any kind of intelligence run, whatever build you want to use. I think that the basic setup of I just use Carrion Slicer and Ice Spear basically and Night Comet as the basic setup for anything you want to do. That makes it easy enough to run through any section and get any other weapon you want. You know, if you want your second or your run to center around Helfin Steeple, Wing of Estelle, Darkman Greatsword, whatever, like those spells will get you there, and this sort of basic setup will get you there in like an hour or two. Versus like when I was playing casually before I started learning and implementing no-hit strats, it was like I was in for like 10 hours for a playthrough probably. So just kind of hoping to help people cut down on time a bit. I've done a lot of kind of hard work on, I like to no-hit run, but I'm also just sort of, I play casually because I'm not really good enough or devoted enough to be able to like finish runs. So just trying to kind of translate some no-hit stuff for, I mean, you know, I have an audience of 1 here, so you know who you are. So I don't know, you can fight him if you want. I no need to embarrass myself. I'm not going to beat him. He's a pretty tough fight, to be honest. But yeah, idea here is Elden Ring. I mean, all FromSoft games, but particularly Elden Ring, particularly DS3, have been really hard for me to put down. And I was finding myself after a little while, after like maybe a year of playing Souls games, year and a half, having played them all and having tried out some other builds, and even for Elden Ring, the thing that I really enjoyed doing was I got all my kind of damage stat characters, which I ended up doing sort of on accident. My first run I ended up doing turned out being a faith strength run. So then I tried an intelligence build. I tried a pure strength. I tried dex. You know, I had characters for all of them, and they're all basically like cosplay characters, just, you know, the normal way you play video games. But I was so obsessed with the game that I started, you know, kind of running it. Like I got all the stat based builds up to NG plus 7 and like just figuring out how to wreck NG plus 7. And that's when I decided to start making videos, and because, you know, I felt like I knew pretty clearly what the best builds were once you know what can actually survive NG plus 7. So that's when I made those videos. Then I started practicing no-hit runs. I don't know why I'm giving a whole like background here, but I got the Iron Balls route like a year ago. You know, it's pretty easy in Elden Ring, honestly. It's not, I mean, like running these games is not hard. You just need to know what the strats are. So that's what this is. It's just like putting some strats out there because I think it's really fun to play this game like a runner. And just sort of feel like it makes you feel like an expert in these games. So anyway, that's all this is sort of a tutorial on assorted running strats to make an intelligence playthrough a lot quicker, feel more sort of masterful, and go any direction you kind of want to take it, which is, you know, a really fun way to play games. So I use the Transmogrify armor mod because I like to light roll and I don't like to be naked. So I'm gonna put some thing on. Not really sure what. This doesn't give you any stats, it's just for aesthetics. But sorry, I'm not gonna run around naked. Let's see, go. I like the fingers. I honestly think the fingers are one of the best sorcery drips. Maybe Lusat. Arms, I don't care, whatever. And then just something like a dress or something, I don't know. Just something magical, something wizard-like. Oh, that's chainmail. I probably won't even see that. Yeah, that works, whatever. Okay. So the start of the game is always, you know, just go get Torrent. get the kukris from in front of the guard over here. Those are really good for a couple early game like boss cheese strats to get a ton of runes early on, which I just do for like stat requirements. I don't try to like cheese the game, more than I need to, but I think some cheese strats are fun to know, and they do kind of make me feel like I have some mastery of the game and some. I don't know. There are some things that are fun to kind of break. I don't want to like break every boss. That's not a fun way to play for me. But it is fun to like know how to cheese a couple knights calves to get some early stats. And you could also just do Grail, or whatever his name is, the big dragon. Her name, the big dragon in Caelid. You can cheese her once or twice with bleed to get like I think it's like 50,000 runes every time. I stopped doing that because it felt. That's a totally self-imposed rule. You can do that if you don't want to learn these cheeses, but I'm going to do a couple cheeses that also impact the pathing a little bit. So, okay, so I'll get Torrent, and then get the, the iron knife or whatever it's called, whetstone blade, whetstone knife. And then maybe I will explain a little bit about the philosophy on like the pacing, because one thing I say that I like to play this game like a no-hit runner, but if you watch no-hit runs, they can be quite boring, particularly compared to some of the other, like some of the Dark Souls games where you basically just have to learn a lot of bosses and nail a lot of fights, which is what you kind of think no-hitting should be, but what it's kind of evolved into, and which I think is fine and fun and cool, whatever, is getting the best build you can and, smashing everybody. That's kind of how it works in Elden Ring, which I'm fine with. But I think that once I started playing DS3, by the way, I should talk about my pathing a little bit. After I get Torrent, usually I'd go up, from doing Strength, I get the Strength tier, get Golden Bow, all that. But I'm going to go ahead and get Carrion Slicer, and I think the quickest way there from the beginning is just first step, and I go due east until I basically get past the lake, and then I'll orient myself. This probably would have been better at daytime. No bats, but they're not a real threat. I don't remember what I was saying. But yeah, so I like to run DS3 a lot more because it's, just the way the game is built, it's a lot more linear, and I think the pacing is a lot better, and the pacing of what the kind of meta Twin Blades route is now is just really fun. It's really fast, and there's good options that you can all accomplish pretty quickly. It's a really fun game to run, and so I think that it's easy enough to apply that same kind of pacing to Elden Ring. You just impose a couple of, there aren't even challenges, because it's really just like, it's kind of more like min-maxing of like, okay, so there is no Vort in Elden Ring. There simply isn't. There's not a boss that's like a legitimate boss that's that early on that you can kind of just very easily +0 with like some simple buff. But Margit is basically Abyss Watchers. If you get to a +4, which in this game would be like, +12, like +12 on a smithing or +4 on a somber, then Margit's pretty dang easy. He's pretty much like Abyss Watchers at +4. You just gotta you need like maybe like 5-6 openings. So I get the Starlight Shard because you need 2 of them for a quest that gives you a talisman later. And then here is basically the best sorcery in the game, hidden behind one of the hardest enemies in the game. All right, if you want, you could go get Selin to be your scroll sorceress person right now. You just have to fight a Mad Pumpkinhead. I don't know how to fight that Mad Pumpkinhead. They're not hard, I just never fight Pumpkinheads. So I am going to use the Turtle Pope later when I go to Liurnia. So next thing I'm going to do now is just some more of the kind of basic Limgrave setup that you would see in all of these runs. You kind of run up north here, and then over towards Caelid. Pick up a few things on the way, and I'll show you what those are. If you already do runs, this won't be interesting to you, but maybe the kind of some of the choices on the pathing will be. But particularly once we get into Caelid and Liurnia and Altus, that's where the paths start to diverge based on what you're trying to optimize for. And for intelligence, Obviously, I'm getting stuff from Kaled. Meteorite Staff is the best early one. But anyway, what I was saying was that oh Jesus, I want to do all that kind of quickly because I basically just want to get the quickest +4 Somber or the quickest, plus 12 smithing I can, and then start doing Margit and start doing the kind of stuff you would do or feel comfortable doing at +4 in DS3, which might include, Pontiff, which is kind of a mid-game boss, so maybe like a Radon or even further, all the way to Morgot you could probably do with +4. But, the options for DS3 then, you could do something difficult and get, do Early Dancer and get a +9. You could do Smoldering Lake, get +7. You could do an early Pontiff at +4 and then get +6 with the Ashes. I don't know. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's all just going to sound like gibberish. But basically, the way the way that I structure this run, and I'm hoping to do one of these for all the stats, is around weapon upgrade level and kind of just progressing through the game as quickly as possible and not going too slowly and giving you clear-cut points where, okay, now these are the points of the game that are kind of open to me now, and that's based on what, sort of stats and weapon upgrade level you should have based on kind of the minimal stuff you should do it by that point. Using these, meta skills like Carry and Slicer and Ice Spear and all the stuff I'm going to use, which are kind of just the basic best stuff everybody has found. So yeah, Margit will hopefully be in like 20 minutes. The intelligence is one of the longer setups, actually, just because it's got stuff all over the map, like far reaches of Liurnia and then like middle of a swamp in Kaled. Am I going to kill Alexander? I do use Ice Spear, so I'm probably going to kill Alexander. What am I using? There we go. I am going to use Ice Spear, so I'm probably going to kill him. So I can get his... I pretty much always kill him. I don't even really think about it much anymore. Hold on. Will this hit you? Alright, cool. So we'll give him 2. I think that's going to be enough. No, okay, so let's cast a couple. There we go. And, oh, whoops. Cast it too late. These do a lot of damage to him. So that's pretty much all you need to do at this point. Yep. So that's cowardly, but Prisoner's pretty bad for... And maybe Alexander is this game's fort. Oh boy. Clip that. Alexander is this game's Vort. You can pretty easily +0 him. He even kind of looks the same. Yeah, but anyway, so the setup, the basic like goal of an Elden Ring setup is I am saying that I structure it around kind of weapon upgrade level and what your stats kind of generally will be without being too... I like to think of this as like casually no-hitting. Like I'm not min-maxing, but I'm also not like... I'm not freaking out about what the stats are. I just basically have some checkpoints like, 40, 60. I don't think I want the short sword in this one. Short sword I would use for buffs. Maybe I'll get it for seppuku or something. Okay, and then so the first talisman I'm going to use is actually going to be Green Turtle Talisman, believe it or not. You could use Ritual Sword, but I just really like, since I'm using Carry and Slicer for a lot of the early stuff, Ritual Sword is, Green Turtle is really good because you can essentially empty your stamina bar, just wailing on someone, and then we'll start regenerating quicker. So what I end up doing is getting Ritual Sword. Oh, you know what? Gillica could be this game's fort. I do Gillica as the first boss a lot because Ritual Sword is just a really good first talisman for your talisman slot. But anyway, I'm a little bit all over the place. I was saying earlier that the basic goal for an Elden Ring setup is to get to Altus, basically. Like, you just progress the game. And getting to Altus involves getting the 2 Dictus medallion halves in Fort Height and Fort Ferrith in Caelid. And so I'm essentially heading towards Caelid. Well, I'm heading both directions, you know. Right now, Fort Height is past the Third Church of America, which is still southeast of me. And then obviously the Caelid. Obviously Caelid's further east as well. So that's the basic direction, and I'm just sort of picking up all this stuff on the way. And something that's always on the way is the sleep pot recipe, which is back a little bit. It's down, and I go back so that you can jump and not die. And there's some Trina's lilies, which are the other half of the sleep pot ingredient list with mushrooms. So pretty much always try to go out of my way to pick those up. Not that you need many. You only need 3 for Godskins if you don't waste any or miss any. And that's really all you need in the whole game. For strength, if you want to use the iron balls on on Fire Giant, you can do that in his second phase and then get the stun on his hand. You also don't really need to do that. I actually like fighting Fire Giant phase 2. Which oh my god, come on. Okay. I'm going kind of extraordinarily slowly, but intelligence, like I said, is kind of one of the slower setups, and Prisoner doesn't have the best starting equipment. I just like their stats a little bit more than Astrologer. You're not like starved for intelligence in this run. It's essentially all you level up. Maybe 1 or 2 mind, but I have not made this a Howl run. I think that Howl runs are great. They're very rune hungry, though. You obviously need to get like at least 13 faith, and then use a rune arc. And I prefer okay, sorry, I should talk about the actual route here. So after the Third Church, you can go up to I'm gonna go to Caelid first. And you can either go up to Caelid through the Spirit Springs and past Anastasia, or through the teleporter back here. And I'm going to do the teleporter because there are a couple boss cheeses that I want to do. Well, you could go either way for boss cheeses, but I'm going to go this way. Oh, and this way has a memory stone. So for like a faith run, you'd want to go this way too, because there's a memory stone. So you take the teleporter for your caster runs, for your early runes, and then the other way is quicker, because you can just run straight to the Beast Torch and then cheese the Bell-Bearing Hunter there, and that's the early runes I do for strength and dex, and sometimes even these ones, but the caster ones, but it makes more sense for me to start the Memory Stone route. So remember, what we're really doing is going to Fort Ferrith to get the Dectus Medallion, and all this stuff is just kind of on the way. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Round Table right now because I need a longbow. I want a longbow, and I'll show you why once I get to the strat. But I use a longbow for the Knights Cavalry strat here. You don't need it, but I want to show you why I like it. Okay, so don't need anything from Corin. What am I doing? So I'm getting, you know, in DS3 you get the dagger, you get a couple bones. I'm gonna go ahead and get a bow. I'm not gonna be using many or any incants. I don't think I'm gonna be buffing really at all. So I'm gonna get a dagger. I didn't get Golden Bow. I'm gonna get the dagger anyway. Okay, and then I will show you why I get the longbow and why you get the kukris. It is late night, so I'm pretty much gonna get one shot at this, which is fine. Bow, kukris. Okay. The bow is just to help me aim. The kukris are loud enough to lure enemies, including bosses. So that's what that's for. I'm going to try to lure him off the edge of this bridge. So this jump is pretty annoying. I'd actually die a lot, so I'd recommend being very careful or just not doing it and doing the safe way. But if you just jump really early and try to land on the tree, perfect, I did it. There's our knight's cav. Wait nice and far back. Get the kukris ready. Once he approaches, let's lure him right here to the bottom. He already heard that. And we're going to lure him to the top, and he'll hop right off. Oh, unless he sees me? No, okay. That's just, he glitches. That's what this is. That's what the cheese is. So, that's how... that's how I cheese that guy. And that, I think, is one of two Caelid cheeses that feels less cheap to me than than slashing at the dragon with a katana or anything that bleeds. I don't know. That's totally made up. Like, I don't care if you do that. You could do that. It'd be faster, and then you can kind of glitch it where you run back to the grace, and you can do it as many times as you want. You can actually get more OP, but since that technically is, like, glitchable, it just feels a little bit cheaper to me. It's not. It's all made up, but... Anyway, I have arbitrarily decided to teach you a couple cheeses. That's one of them. There will be 3. So we get the memory stone. And this is the way you get into this one, by the way. It's meant to be spirit sprung into. And then we pop up this other way to go to Ferrith. They always get me with that one. The one in the back. I think this is an 8, 6, and a 4? 3. Okay, now we kind of take the back roads up to that fort in the distance. I really like going this way too because you're sort of, it feels like you're just kind of going around the back of the map. Like I don't know. I really like sometimes feeling like I'm just like breaking the game, this game that I love so much. Like, what am I doing? I'm level 0 and I'm just like traipsing around backside. Like, it's awesome. It's a cool game. Love open world. Hope they do more open world. I think this is a great game. I know that they don't want to, and a lot of people disagree with me, and I literally just said that DS3 is a much more fun game. So what am I talking about? But anyway, that's the dragon. So another perk of the caster builds is there are 2 things you need in here. One is the Dectus Medallion, and then if you are doing a build that would benefit from some strength or some dex or more HP and stamina, which is most builds, but this build doesn't really need it, you can get the Radagon Source Seal in there, which is like a late game item, so it really is OP for those builds. But you don't need it, so you also don't need the Beast Torch, and so you can just go right into Fort Ferrith. I strike the wall out there to lure these guys. I think he saw me, though. Not good. This is very bad. I don't know why that got screwed up so bad. I think the close, I mean, it wasn't too bad. Okay. So all you need is Dectus Medallion. And I'll show you in like a strength or a dex run what you would do otherwise. Oh, I'm aggroed. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and go up to the Beast Torch. I'm going to go from this direction. No, I'm not, because I don't know this direction. I'll show you the other third church route. So now I'm going to run back up to Caelid. Third church is kind of our Limgrave hub, one of them. So we're going to come back here one more time to go to Fort Height. In fact, we could go to Fort Height right now, but I'm just going to go get more runes because I'm greedy. Not even going to use them. I should go to Fort Height. but I'm not gonna. I'll show you one more cheese just to get them both out of the way. Like I said, this is a very thoughtful, efficient route. That is actually true, because either way, you would either be doing this now or like in 5 minutes, so. Take in the views. Alrighty, to avoid, I mean, it's not hard to avoid the Anastasia invasion. Just keep your distance. I don't really know where the wall is, but it's not hard to not trip it. Enter Kaled. We'll get this Grace, even though we probably don't need it. A couple things of that for it down there. Alright, and the route to the Beast Torch Merchant, which you will repeat many times for all of your runs, because the Beast Torch is really good, and BBH is really easy to cheese. This is kind of a core piece of the run, and also on the any percent, the Iron Balls route, this is the Kaled piece, part of the Kaled piece. This is one of the early Kaled setup pieces. Not going to bother with that Grace, but if you want the Guts Greatsword, feel free. By the way, I should mention that I think this is a really worthwhile hobby to work on. I'm not like just making this video because I have no life and want somebody else to have no life with me. I am very busy. I am a dad. I am a professional in a white-collar job that's very busy, though you might not believe me because I'm currently streaming in the middle of the day. Fair enough. But yeah, I think that playing these games there's a real sense of accomplishment, real sense of knowledge, keeping me sharp. They're very fun. There's a lot of joy in my life because of them, so sharing all these strats and techniques, not because I think I'm awesome, but because I think this game is awesome, and I think playing it this way makes it even more awesome. I should have mentioned, I don't sprint there. I think that from the Grace, the pathing works a little bit better if you don't sprint. Okay, go ahead and buy the Beast Torch. Sell my runes first, why not? I'm also going to go ahead and get the Ritual Pot, because I've been curious about trying a freeze strat on Millennia for Waterfowl for this run. Okay, I think that I have to actually leave and then come back for BBH to spawn, but let me check. Yeah, so I'm going to go to Roundtable real quick and then travel back at night to make the Bellbearing Hunter show up. Then I'll show you the cheese, and then we'll do height and move on to actually getting the run set up. Like I said, I guess I oversold how quick this is. This is pretty slow still. But all that's really left is like the tiniest bit of Liurnia. Wait, let me stop talking so I can talk you through this cheese. So the way this works, he's going to spawn right over, I guess you can't see where I'm looking, but right at the tip of my hat. Right around there. Not far from the hut. So you just want to start, not even running, just start jogging and summon Torrent, and then hop off Torrent when you get to the tree. And then you crouch so that the golem can't see you, and then I will explain from there. So to summon Torrent, no sprinting. There's BBH, but he won't catch you. You just jog, hop off around the tree, crouch, and then get as close to the edge as you humanly can here. And then what you're waiting for... Oh! Geez, that's pretty close. What you're waiting for is either you see BBH or your UI disappears because it's the same timing. Jump so the golem sees you. Sprint so BBH can't hear you. Sprint run around to BBH. Into the back of his shield. Golem shoots at you, hits BBH. You riposte him off the edge. That's it. It's another like 50 grand or something. Yep. So now we are going to go do some bear... Oh, you know what? I gotta go to height first. Almost forgot. So first we'll get the Dectus Medallion, and then all we're gonna do in Altus is, well, I mean, we could probably do Gilligan Market pretty soon. We just got to go get our. Forgot to go get the staff. That's what I was gonna do. That's right. Okay, so after Ferrith, what we're gonna go do is get meteorite staff. Okay, I missed that line in my notes. Sorry. So much for this being like efficient, but the way down is, that's why I was gonna go this way, because it's not to the Beast Torch, it's to Millicent. So we're going down to the Church of the Plague, and then from the Church of the Plague to Celia, and then from Celia to the Rot Lake in Caelid. I'm gonna go ahead and get the key and the smithing stones that are up here, just because why not? We are gonna use a smithing stone weapon with Ice Spear. Alright, and I'll show you the kind of quick way to get, if you don't already know it, down to Celia. We're gonna go get the meteorite staff, which is our main staff until we get Lusat's, which is, you'll see, pretty soon after Margit. Anyway, this is now like kind of the tail end of the setup. I know it seems like there's a lot left, but that's because I'm gonna skip a lot of setup because Intelligence is great and Slicer is great. We basically go get Slicer now. Not now, after. Now we're going to get the meteorite staff. Hi, Millie. So this is the Church of the Plague. We're gonna pop on down to Celia, get the Grace there, because we're gonna come back for that once we have some stealth, and get Night Comet and the Staff of Loss. So the way you get down to Celia is from that tree, you hop onto this building, and you hop down to the roof, and then you hop down again. And let's take the outer wall, doesn't matter. Huge that, and now we're gonna sort of head west and use our memory to find the meteorite staff. It's in the Street of Sages ruins. I'm sort of bellying out here to avoid Captain O'Neill, which we're not doing on this run. I just never remember, like, I don't have like an exact path there, but it's like this, it's like west. Don't get hit. I don't know if the Beast Torch makes a difference with those guys. Okay, it's, there it is. Am I getting attacked? Oops, that's not how you want to get it. This is all not how you want to do this, but easy enough. Okay. I forgot to get the Celia Grace. So I'll show you the skip again. So from the Church of the Plague down to this tree. And don't go too fast, kind of take your time here. No reason to kill yourself. Jump onto the top, drop down to the roof, drop down again. Let's go get the Grace this time. Take a nice wide route, because there are guys right there. And they're gonna hit me probably, especially if I get stuck. Alright. So I'll go wider than that, because I have 100k runes I haven't spent. Okay, now let's go do Fort Height. Right? Yeah. We don't need to get the Staff of Loss yet. So back to our Limgrave hub, one of them. I swear we're almost set up here. I don't feel like I'm going slow, but I'm a little unfocused. If I were like playing and like focusing, I feel like I'd be going faster. But it's hard to talk and think and all that at the same time, I'm finding. Okay, so up here is obviously the charge attack tier. We're not actually, we're getting it, but we're gonna get, the reason why is because it also comes with much less loved stamina tier, but it's basically perfect for an early game int build that focuses on carry and slicer, because carry and slicer does great damage and is very FP efficient, but is not very stamina efficient. So having just a big bolus of extra stamina is excellent early game, and basically makes Margit and Gilliga completely free. We're not, however, going to get the charge attack tier, but I'll pop in and get a few extra these guys, not that we need them. And then the path to the merchant is out from the bear, and then you just follow this wall, go along this wall, basically straight. I guess it's due east is an easier way. And you're just looking for his smoke. I'm gonna buy some arrows from him to clear height. I know it's kind of, I guess it's kind of lame that I clear height with arrows on an int build, but I just haven't, you know, done anything yet. Go ahead and get the last 3, so now I have 12. Haven't done anything yet, so. And I consider this like so early game. So we're going to height. I'm not even gonna bother with the So what we need for height is the beast torch and bow. Not even gonna bother with the grace is what I was gonna say. Just gonna pop right in. In my very intelligent build. And remember, here is the Dectus, so this is kind of the end of the first part of the setup where you're stuck to Limgrave, Caleb, Liurnia. I haven't even gone to Liurnia yet, obviously. Oops. Okay, hit him. Pop him with Mighty Shot. Get out the Beast Torch for the Ratty Rats. Which is something I've never called them before in my life. And a little Mighty Shot for this fella. Alright. And up to the Dectus. Little crouch. Little uncrouch. And climb. Maybe also worth mentioning, I'm a relatively new Souls player. I played Elden Ring for like 3 minutes in 2022. Didn't really pick it up till 2024, so I've only been playing for like 2 years, but have been really, really obsessed with all of the FromSoft games. I had stopped playing video games basically for a decade to start a career and start a family and have. And so basically fell in love with Elden Ring when the spirit hit me basically to pick it up, and I think really it was YouTube actually. I watched enough YouTube videos of people saying playing From Software games changed their life, and I was like, okay, I'm curious. I'll bite. And indeed, here I am, 2 years later, having invested in a streaming setup to share my love of Elden Ring. Funny how that works. Inspiration. So, my spiel about the run is that it's a lot quicker way to play this game, and that is true. However, it is also true that it is just simply one of the downsides of Elden Ring that it is open world. It's an upside and a downside. It's just how it works. So I'm going to do as little as possible in Liurnia and Altus before just moving on to Margit and kind of opening up the game that way. I just feel like if I start to do too much in Liurnia and Altus, it's like I'm already 35 minutes in. I'm going a little slow. I'm like talking and everything, but like, come on, 35 minutes in, DS3, you're already like past Wolnir, having fun. Like, this game deserves a better class of run, right? This is the fastest you can do because it is open world. It's so big. Like, I'm running as fast as I can, as you see. What I mean when I say like do as little as I possibly can, like there's so much setup you can do in Elden Ring. Basically, I I have Meteorite Staff. I want to get Carrion Slicer learned, which is like, it's really annoying to learn spells in this game. I guess you could just fight the Pumpkinhead earlier, like I said, but I'm going to go to the Pope, Turtle Pope. I'm going to learn Carrion Slicer, level up, and then fight Margit, basically. I don't know why I don't need those. I don't even know why I'm talking to this guy. So I'm gonna just, in Liurnia, I'm just gonna get Graces, a couple Graces, and go to get Carrion Slicer. And some tiers. The intelligence tier. I mean stats, why not? Meet EG. Get our Liurnia base, which is obviously the academy. Liurnia is sort of organized around all these portals that are take you to or from the academy. So Faith Talisman's in there. I'm actually not going to get it because I think I'm committing to not doing Howl for like the entirety of this. So I don't think I'm going to put like a single point into Faith. I'm just not going to bother with buffs. I'm just going to make this like an int run. So that takes you to the academy. You know what, actually? I'm going to get this Grace now, but I'm going to go back because I want to go up to the Turtle Pope first. I should have gotten the Faith, the Grace over there. Shoot. I didn't get any Graces, did I? I didn't get any Graces. Oh, I screwed up. Okay. I should have gotten... No, I got this Grace. That's perfect. Okay. So, in the name of efficiency, pretend that this is the first time here. Instead of going straight to the teleporter, I should have gotten the Grace over there first. So instead of teleporting back to the merchant, I teleport back to the Grace. Sorry. I wrote all this down. I'm just not actually looking at my spreadsheet while I'm playing, which is silly. Why did I do all the routing and writing just to not use it and make the mistakes that I'm hoping to make this video to help you avoid? But I'll edit it. This is just a stream version. This is kind of just going to be the base, probably. Alright, so pretend I just popped out of there. Grace is somewhere around here. I don't remember exactly. Look for the Grace lines. Alright, and then Turtle Pope's pretty far away. So, hunker down. This is a decision I make. Sorry, I like the Turtle Pope. You don't need to. You can fight the Pumpkinhead right now. You could probably get like 40 int. And talk to Selin and give her the scroll. And that's theoretically probably the meta. Probably the way to go. But do you know who you're talking to? This is better than the meta. Alright, we are also going to pop into the Carrion Tower, but I don't think, like, the second. Well, let me check my notes and see if we're doing that now. Oh yeah, we do that now. Okay. So I'll show you how to do that. You avoid the Tibia Mariner unless you really love fighting those guys. You avoid this Stalwart Knight unless you really love fighting these guys. And we're going to this Shack of Grace. And the question is, how confident do we film this skip? I want it to be daytime so I can see a little bit better. I just practiced this, but it was like, well, I didn't just practice this. I intended to practice this, and I did, about a month ago. And once again, I've forgotten it, no longer feel confident in it. So if I die, I'll just cheat in 100k runes, which is about what I have, like 2 hero runes. I just know you go to this corner and then you jump somewhere. I think it's just like right down there. Maybe you can just walk off? No, you cannot. Alright. So, look. I meant to practice this again. I will on another stream and edit that in here. But for now, I'm just going to go walk down. Hold on, now I need to cheat. ER tool. Okay. Those are 50, right? Okay. Let me try the skip again, because I ought to just figure it out. I guess the runes are right there. I didn't really need to do that, but whatever. So it's, yeah, you jump. And there's somewhere like somewhere in that you go, but I don't know where. It's over there? It looks like the same distance down. Up there? Time to find it. I see several chatters on Twitch. If you can't hear me, or if you can hear me, please say something. That would be great to know, because if this is all going on deaf ears, that's brutal to know. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. There it is. That's easy. And then is this survivable? Yeah, great. Cool. That's the skip. It's right above the thing you can see. Okay. All right. I'm happy. Happy with that. Glad I figured it out. Let's try it again. Okay, so here's a skip. Down here, and then you find the thing that's right below you, and then right above that is like a rocky ridge you jump onto. Boop. Cool. And then you, I think it's one hop down. Easy. Cool. All right, I like it. I figured it out. I still have my runes, and I cheated in an extra 100k. Okay, here's a cool strat to get the staff that boosts Slicer right away. And that's kind of how intelligence works in this game, is instead of, I mean, there's a ton of buffs in this game. There's a ton of different ways to buff in this game, but the unique one to intelligence is getting the offhand staff that boosts the type of sorceries you want to use. And so I'm basically maining Carrion Slicer, so I'm getting the Carrion Sword stat, whatever the hell it's called, we'll see. And the other one I'm going to get is the Staff of Loss for Night Comet. So you basically, the strat is, there's an invader here who makes your life really annoying. And the way you can do this early is to make it, you can run up so the invader never spawns. And that is just running up the outside of these stairs. And the way you get onto those stairs is by getting onto these stairs and jumping onto these stairs. And then just slowly walking up sort of the outer half. And the invader never spawns. And you just run through some simple enemies and go get your staff. I have no stealth or nothing. So that is another kind of very minor, easy cheat, carrying glintstone staff. Easy cheese, it's worth learning. Okay, now we're actually going to go to the Turtle Pope. We have our offhand staff. We have our main hand staff. We're cooking. To the Pope. He's north. right, heard this turtle was from Brooklyn. There he is. That church at the tip there, where my character is facing. Oh, I don't know why I'm doing this kind of pathing. This is not... I don't have pathing here. I'm going towards the church, and there's like... It's open world, so don't get hit. Okay, almost there. Almost there. We're there. I think this is the only time I actually really need to give him a spell book, so it's not... I don't really need this grace, but I'm gonna go ahead and get it. Especially if, you know, this is sort of the basic route. If you want to add any more spells, you'll want that grace, obviously. Royal House. Okay. Yes, sir. Study Sorcery. Slicer. Alright, baby. We're good to go. Let's do Margit. No, let's do EG. Never mind. We're going to go get the int tier. Sorry, one last thing. Because we only have one item for a physic. We're going to go get another one. To our Liurnia hub, the Academy, and to the EG teleporter. The way to EG is this way. Very clutch branch landing. Usually I just land on top of that tree. It's sort of northeast. There it is. Looking for that. Little structure. What do you call this structure? It's like, it's not a pagoda, is it? All right, and because I want to try the freeze pot strat on Millennia, I'm gonna go ahead and get the item for that, which is right in here. Which is not like, no strat there. Forgot there was a guy there, so it goes to show the level I'm playing at here. Alrighty. And we're not actually doing anything with EG right now. We're just here to get the intelligence tier so that we have a filled out build and can get started on fighting. This is not usually the path I take. I don't know why I'm doing this. So weird, but alright. Okay. Well, who's aggro to me? Now let's just go unlock Altus since we have the Dectus. Go get a couple more graces and then do some fighting. Oh, I need to get the key. Gotta get the key. Just this way. Oh, I screwed up. I'm gonna take damage. You want to hop just from the ground. You know, I landed on the railing, so I took damage. I mean, which isn't, it's not unacceptable. It's not a hit or anything, just that's what I was trying not to do. So I pointed it out. this dragon has 2 pickups, some more kukris, and the key. One of them. Well, the key. The other one is inside the academy. And I'm just getting this grace for no real reason. Actually, it's a quicker way to get to some smithing 2s later. Okay, now Altus. Which, again, I've said this 1,000 times, but it's quick. We're basically gonna get stealth. Unseen form is what it's called. I keep forgetting. I keep wanting to say hidden body. We're also going to get the Amber Starlight, which is another thing, another item we need for the same quest to get that that we need the Starlight Shard for the Magic Scorpion Charm. So just a couple kind of pre-things to do in Altus, just for, mostly just because I want to do them now. They feel more like setup. It would feel weird to do them like later after Margit, though I guess I could. I guess I could do Margit now and just ignore all of Altus. Maybe I'll do that in my next stream and see if I like that more. If so, that'll be the route that I share. I mean, this is all just for fun anyway. That's the Dectus lift, that big tall old cap or L cap there. Okay, and then we're gonna go up Dectus, do the very most quickest Altus stuff, like 2 things. Hopefully I remember how to do the Unseen Form puzzle. I'm sure I do. I'm not actually getting Howl, but maybe I'll get the magic physic from here. I also like that Intelligence has its own stealth that actually works. I feel like for every other build I just use Assassin's Gambit, but this build alone I have Unseen Form, which also is different. It only does invisibility, so you still have to think about your sound, and that adds an element of fun to some of the running sections. It's a little bit different from Gambit, just kind of takes you away from anything. Alrighty, so first I'm going to get the Amber Starlight, then I'm going to go do the quests. I mean the puzzles. Unseen Form. What am I talking about? Puzzles? What the hell am I talking about? One puzzle. Jump the sheep, that's a vital part of the strat. I don't usually get this grace with a seed, but may as well. Does grace be quicker to back to Erdtree facing hill? Probably. I'm straight up not going to get the seed. I don't need it at all. Where is that entrance? I think there's a way down up there that's probably quicker, but have not found it mattering. So in here, there's also some bewitching branches, but I'm going to use Comet Azure on Commander Niall because it is just too fun. So I'm not really going to bother. I mean, not bewitching branches, but the ingredient, whatever. Okay. To stealth. I usually just warp back to the Altus, so I just go up north of this way. Actually, I am going to do that because I want to get that grace. This is easy. Freaking out for no reason. So now, actually, the last time when I routed this the first time, I forgot about Green Turtle, and so I did Gillica first, and just went to do Gillica right now, and it was super easy. And maybe I should just do that. Plan to do Gillica first. Why not? That'll be fun. I'll do that now. And then I'll get stealth. Okay, so I'm just... How high can we get? 40. Perfect. Look at that. Go figure. Slicer, it's all we need. Physic, let's go. Intelligence, will be 50. And stamina. And that's it. Cool. And this should be a pretty easy fight. I think it's just going to be like 7 and 7 or something. Oops. As far as I know, there's not really a method here. It's just kind of hop up the rocks. Okay. Alright, this should be nothing really. Hello. Some of those double hits. Nice. Yeah, ridiculous. I mean, that's ridiculous. Alright, now let's go to Margit. So that, I mean, that could easily be the first boss you fight, easily. Because that's, oh wait, no, I'm not going to do Margit, I'm going to do, sorry. I'm going to go get stealth. No reason not to fight her there. So another thing, just looking ahead, is if you think of Margit as Abyss Watchers, and so he's kind of your like first real boss that you're at like +4 for. So like what the setup is for, basically. And then you do stuff at like that stat and weapon upgrade level for a little while. That's like where I think of Margit. The next step would obviously be like a +6, right? Or 7. Let's say 6. In this game, I think 6 is actually better because of where the 7 placements are. So +6 or +18 or 20 if we're talking smithing. So anyway, all that to say that the next step, oh, I might have needed to get, yeah, shoot, I forgot to get one at round table. Whoops. That's silly. Okay, so I'm just gonna go get stealth now, but the idea, all that preamble was to say that the next step would be a +5, like a 5 and 6, and that Old Altus is one of 2 really easy to access sources of 5 and 6s, sort of from the beginning of the, like you can do in the setup phase. So that's why I was getting that grace there, but I need an extra stone sword key, so I'm not getting the grace yet. Okay, anyway, gonna go get stealth instead. Unseen form, which is a little puzzle. It's not really that hard. There's 3 things. Oh, can it survive that? Oh, yes, okay, phew. So there's this one. And then you run up to where the tower was. And there's a second one. Oh shit, not there. Where was it? There. There's number 2. And then you go due east to the Bower of Bounty Grace. It's not due east, but it's like east-ish. You'll find it. Actually, it is due east. Look at that. And from there, you're gonna go. I think it's south, probably. Yeah, here we are. Little imp. And then the third one is locked behind this conspicuous rock. So with that, we go back to the Grace and due west to the tower. Pick up our spell. And that's all there is to it. So yeah, I mean, there's obviously, it's an open world game. We could do so much more before kind of starting the game. But we're already an hour in. I literally thought this would take half that amount of time, but I'm going pretty slow. I'm dying. I'm practicing things, so it's not a speed run. It's just supposed to be fun, like a quicker way than what you might be used to. So okay, we have our stealth. Let's go ahead and get to Margit. We're just gonna fight him with the meteorite staff, and then the first thing we do after Margit is we start to think about Night Comet. Oh, you could do patches. I like fighting Margit, so I'm just going to go ahead and fight him. But you could get the shackle, and I'm sure it scripts him. I guess I could show patches. So I don't really need anything else. Alright, let's just go slicer him. Obviously, it's quite nice you can cast Unseen Form from horse. Don't know why I picked that up. Oh, here. Oh, my. Huh. You heard me? Alright. Okay, let's do Margit with, I guess, actually, probably Ritual Sword is better. Maybe, so yeah, maybe I should plan on that. Whoops. So much for Ritual Sword. Oh, I guess that's not really strafable. Why is this like the worst Margit fight of all time? Oh, come on. Getting hit with all of those. Holy smokes, I died to Margit. Alright, ending my career here, but I'm gonna go ahead and fight him anyway. That's crazy. That's crazy. That was a weird fight, I guess. Cope. Wow. I'm humbled. That hasn't happened in a while. Just fighting kind of weird, I guess. So 50 int, lots of stamina, no openings. Oh, whoops, went too far. I don't know why I'm not locking on. I mean, this is such a ridiculous spell. Bye-bye. Okay, so first, before I do Godric, as much as I love him, I'm gonna go get the Nox duo first to get a better staff. This is fine. This would be fine for Godric, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to get Night Comet and a better staff, because that's pretty much then you're like set up for the game. Last step is Ice Spear. And also I need to go relatively soon. Oh. And I'm also not going to use the main gate, so I don't know why I asked him to do that. Okay, Nox Duo. So there's a cheese. You really don't need it. Like, if there's no other impact of this video, it's that you do not need to cheese the Nox Duo. If you have Night Comet and 40 int, you don't need to cheese the Nox Duo. So let me go get Night Comet and the Staff of Loss and all that jazz. You really only need to unlock 2. The stealth is pretty bad, but... What am I doing? And I think for that reason I am only going to do 2. Okay, so here's our staff. He heard me. Oops. Oh, come on. Brutal. Alright, well. Oh, whoops. Oh, come on. Oh. Okay. This is why I'm not a pro. Oh, this is actually crazy. Okay. Okay, and here's the second one. The much needed heal. Obviously an accident. Okay, we only need 2 for Night Comet. And really what you should do is just kill this first guy. And you're basically gravy. Okay, there's Night Comet. And the Nox Duo, which I promise you, you do not need to worry about. And this is the way to get the best staff in the game now. Well, in my opinion. Wait, did I go the wrong direction? Absolutely I did. Not? Absolutely I did not. I don't know what way I usually go, but I don't usually aggro a dog. So... Okay, Staff of Loss offhand. Night Comet. Not a whole lot of blue, but chargy. And 1, 2. 3. And a blue. And a chargy. And a 1. And a 2. And a 3. Oh boy. That's not good. I ran out. So that wasn't the plan, but that worked. Counts. And I will take Lusats. So why don't we go ahead and get that up to +4 and then do Stormveil with a Night Comet, and well, that's really it. So the cool thing about Sombers is your +4 is from EG, and then you get a 5 and 6 in one of 2 places. Oh, I shouldn't use that because I cheated that in. Do I not have enough to upgrade Lusats right now? No, I can. Yeah, okay. Staffs are cheap. That's cool. Though I did forget it's 52 int, so I'm not actually going to be able to use it right away. I think I could use it on Godric. Guess I don't need to. So I'm going to go ahead and do the back way for fun. Is that the word? Okay, we have our offhand staffs. So this is a really good exploration build, obviously. You know, you have Staff of Loss offhand for Night Comet, and then if you get into melee, you switch to Carrion Slicer, and you have Unseen Form. The only thing this is really missing, which it doesn't really need, but I like to add, and it's the last step kind of my setup after Godric, is Ice Spear for more posture damage. For posture damage, really, not more, just some. Any. Because that's really all that is missing otherwise. Couple ways you can play Stormveil. Obviously, you can do the front way with stealth. I'm going to go ahead and do Night Comet for most of this if I can. Well, I might have gotten that off, so. Yeah, okay, so I took a hit. So this is not a no-hit. I hope that's clear. This probably should be done with Night Comet. Particularly this part. Actually, you know what? I'm going to save my mana and be intelligent, which is the name of the game here. Use some bow. Because I did not allot my flasks or upgrade my flasks, I'm doing it this way. Easy enough. If you've played Elden Ring once, you probably know how the back way of Stormveil works. I guess it's really just this room. I mean, there's more. What am I talking about? Stormveil is obviously the legacy dungeon, but this is kind of all you need. This is the only running part, really. Forgot to do my flasks. I really need to do that. Totally unnecessary, but here we go. All right, I gotta go soon, so I'm gonna go ahead and go straight to Godric. upgrade my flasks. I mean, well, this is what's next anyway, but I just mean that I'm going to do that now. And then I'm going to stop. Oops. Night would be easier, because then they can't see me as well, but this is not really that dangerous. It's probably dangerous, to be honest, but... It's not like this is like a pathing issue. At this point, you'll have stealth in pretty much any run you want, whether it's Unseen Form or anything else. Assassin's Gambit. Assassin's Approach, whatever weird stuff you're into. I say as I'm wearing the weirdest outfit in the entire game by far. Gonna go ahead and pick up these pots over here, because why not? Oops, that's not good. Ignore me, sir. I apologize. I must have touched one of your children, and I did not mean to. I wish I didn't say that. Jesus. Anyway, more kukris. And I'm going to go ahead and fight Godric with Meteorite. And could I probably get a Night Comet or two off at the start? Yeah. Will it make a huge difference? No. Hopefully I don't get hit. It's the plan. Alright. I don't have a lot of casts in me. Oop, that hurts. I'll tell you that much. He doesn't like that. Alright, I'll fight him. I mean, it's just such a ridiculous sorcery. And I think this is going to be it, but he's got a good amount of health left. I don't know. Might need to fight him a little bit. Oh, I thought I could get under that. What? Maybe my character is too tall? I'm 90% sure that you get under that dragon swipe. Maybe I just need to roll it. What am I doing? Okay, I need to go soon, so I need to fight. I need to beat him now. What am I doing messing around here? Luckily, with intelligence, you have all the friggin' tools you want to, like, basically cheese if you want to. Ridiculous. I mean, that's phase 1 right there, basically. Bye-bye. Okay, that's hopefully enough this time. Yeah, okay, cool. I mean, not like you need a strat there. I just kind of screwed up on phase 2 last time, but... okay. Next thing I'm going to do next stream, I think, is... some more Liurnia. Like, some more setup, basically. So finishing up the setup, I think that's, like, now the sort of end of the early part of the game. It's obviously still early game, but we have a great rune, you know. Now the next part is figuring out what we want to do on the way to +6 and Radon, basically. And that is going to be just basically a lot of Liurnia. Because now I think, the stats for, or at least very close to, yeah, I have the stats for Lusat. Lusats for boss fights. So, alright, until next time.